Between the Sheets really is a show that keeps giving. It's a gift that keeps giving. So here's the thing, folks. Some of you may not know this, but when it comes to Between the Sheets, this is a show that is done so therefore cast members can come together to have their own thoughts and reviews on the single life. And right now, when it comes to Vanya, she's somebody that is not only just under fire with us, the viewers, but also with some of her cast members. And let's find out why.
Hate it if my man went there, found a hot woman that looks like his ex, they have good chemistry together, I would be like, like away from my man. Like, honestly, I see Tony's side on this one, so sorry, Vanya.
Now, to give you lovely people some context regarding this, for the people that may have not seen yesterday's video they uploaded in the situation that went down with Tony and Vanya. So Vanya decided to take Tony to one of her dance classes, and he agreed to attend purely because it was going to be lessons. So he was more than happy to be there to learn, obviously, how to dance the way Vanya does. Now, once the session was over, well, this is when once the lesson was over, at that point, anyone that attended had a choice to stay there and just mingle and just dance to the music freely and just kind of, put in some of the moves that you learned that evening or moves you've learned obviously over that time. But you see, Tony, this was his first time, so he was feeling a bit nervous. So once the class was over, he wanted to pretty much leave the situation and go somewhere else and do something else with Vanya. But Vanya wanted to stay because, well, she wanted to dance. And here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with the fact that he wanted to leave, and there's nothing wrong with the fact that she wanted to stay. But in life, we need a compromise, and this is where things got interesting between Tony and Vanya. So interesting to the point that, well, Vanya decided to completely ignore what Tony said and said, no, I want to stay and I want to dance, and if you're not going to dance with me, well, then you know what? I'm going to go dance with somebody else, which goes to exactly what Cortney's talking about. She decided to pretty much ignore Tony, and decided to just go dance with someone else. And not only did she go and dance with someone else, she went and danced with a man that was literally similar to her ex, the same guy that we saw her be with the last time we saw her on 90 Day Fiance. A guy that obviously looked like he seemed to have muscles, seemed to have tattoos, a bald head, seemed to be quite, good looking. So of course, any man in that situation would feel rather embarrassed, if anything, disrespected by Vanya's behavior, and we think, what the hell was going on here? But you see, when Tony decided to confront Vanya and say to her, hey, hold on a minute, let me step in and take my woman away from you, she then stormed off saying that you just embarrassed me, as if she wasn't the one that made the behavior, made the actions that were absolutely crazy. For some of us would even say disgusting, unnecessary, pathetic, immature, childish. So this is why, of course, Cortney's saying, well, hold on a minute, let's put the shoe on the other foot. We know for sure, if that had been a woman, you'd be losing your bonkers. So you know what? It's nice to see that we was not the only ones thinking this, and that also another cousin was thinking this. But she wasn't the only one to say anything. In fact, one of people's number one villains of the show even came in and said some things that we're like, yeah.
That was petty. That was really petty when Vanya's out of spite chose another guy. I think this is really hard for Tony, honestly. This whole putting himself out there, any type of public display, especially when he's not familiar with moving, dancing, all that.
This was definitely another side.
So you can see right there, even the fact that, when it came to Colt even came out to, to say, hold on a minute, this behavior was atrocious. And let's be real, when it comes to Colt, he's one of those people that has one of the most disgraceful, one of the most ridiculous behaviors of 90 Day Fiance. You know what I mean? Especially seeing how he has behaved in this season itself in particular. The way he has treated Cortney. And like I said before, when it came to this situation where not only us, the viewers, not only the couple was upset, but even us, the viewers, was upset. And with that being said, you see, there's already a post right here where somebody said, Vanya is effing annoying. I can't believe I'm in agreement with Colt. Trust me. We're all thinking the same thing. At least I hope we are. And she's driven me to this. Colt, Tony buys presents, takes her on dates. He doesn't ask much. He doesn't complain when Vanya says she can't have intimacy, can't cuddle, but I'll take your gifts. Same Vanya completely manufactures a scene at the dance lesson. Up to now, I've hated all the hate she's been receiving, but can't take her self-made drama anymore. I'm happy to see that there are people nowadays who are starting to see these things that have been sent by Vanya from the moment that she even entered the 90-day universe. Because when she was in the Single Life before, or whichever show she was on, I think it was before the 90 days, whatever one she was on anyway, I said, hold on a minute, this is a woman that clearly only cares about her needs and her wants. It's a woman that has never displayed the care or need to be open to somebody else's needs and wants. It's all about her. All about her. Narcissist. But let's continue though, because now Vanya wants to defend herself. So what does she have to say?
Side of Tony that I never saw before. It's just like jealousy. Literally, he met me as a dancer. Known from the moment that we met that this is a huge part of not just what I do, but part of my identity. And then his reply to that was, well, of course, Tony, my exes didn't care about me dancing. And then his reply to that was, well, of course they didn't care because they all cheated on you. And that was such a low blow.
Was it a low blow? Probably, yeah. A part of me wants to say no because I enjoy the fact that he said that to her because she needs to be put in a place. But at the same time, you got to put someone in your place in ways that make sense, not ways that doesn't make sense. For him to say that, to be fair, was definitely a low blow, and I wouldn't say that statement itself in particular was 1000% accurate to why her ex have cheated on her. If anything, if her ex have cheated on her, it's probably just because she's Vanya. Call a spade for spade, right? But either way, though, the fact that she still wants to have this perspective that she was never in the wrong is nasty work, disgraceful work, disgusting work. And I like the fact that Tony stood his ground, but again, there's ways to go about it. The way he went about it definitely wasn't the way I would recommend, because that way, the way he went about it is just something that involves a low blow, not something that actually involves making a point that sticks. And sometimes you have to make a low blow to make a point that sticks, but the low blow has to make sense. The low blow has to feel more like tough love than an actual low blow, because those two things are not the same. You know what I mean? But either way though, these are obviously the views and thoughts of how people felt when it came to Vanya, when it came to Colt, when it came to Cortney, and also viewers. But now we're going to move on to the next one. So let's get into the nitty and gritty.
Pedro made Chantal pay for her ring. That's what Chantal told me. So
Really? It was her wedding ring or engagement?
Yeah, that's what she said.
Did Sophie give you back your mom's ring?
Sophie lost it.
There was a ring from his grandma that was passed down to his mom that he gave to you.
Okay, that is like completely false. It was a gift from my grandma, like my grandma to me, and
You know, why is it each time I see Robin's screen on Between the Sheets, he's always exposing something about Sophie, even though Sophie will always have her own counter to the situation. And to be fair, when it comes to the conversation with the whole ring thing with Cortney and Pedro, Chantel and Pedro, I mean, well, obviously at the time we know Pedro wasn't really working like that, but you know what? I actually don't care about Chantel and Pedro. What's happened has happened. They both have now finally moved on, and that's all that really matters. You know what I mean? And to be fair, it's the same thing with Rob and Sophie, isn't it now? It is quite unfortunate that we are in a position where, I mean, listen, sometimes I'm like, you know what, I like the fact that this has now been exposed because it makes certain things other make sense. So I do like that sometimes. But in this situation regarding this whole ring malarkey, I don't even know why I even add this to the segment, to be honest with you. Yeah, let's just move on. I do apologize. I kind of waste your time with that one. All right, so let's get into the nitty and gritty. This one is the most interesting one. This is where Cortney, well, let's play.
Came down to Orlando to help Colt go up to Canada, help him find a doctor up there. His last night, he was like texting me, sending pics, trying to get me to get a hotel room with him. We were FaceTiming, texting, calling. Like he's in Canada and he's miserable there.
Oh! You know, as intelligent as Cortney can sound sometimes, she still proves time and time again that she is simply moving mad.
No way! Wheel around the world like him.
He's like, oh, I love you, I miss you. Like, just saying how miserable he is in Canada, living in his mom's basement. So then I found out he's been in Brazil the whole time from a social media comment I saw.
No. Many people may sit and say, you know what, I feel sorry for Cortney. I can't believe what she's going through. Can't believe that this man is treating her. But Cortney's the one that still keeps allowing this man in her life. She still keeps opening the door. That's the problem. Why are you texting him? You already know that he cheated on you. You already know that you don't want to be with him, so you say. You already know that he's allegedly moved to Canada. So why are you messaging him? Why are you responding to him? Why are you giving the time of day? And then now you're surprised that he was never in Canada, that he was actually in Brazil, and that he was lying to you? Why are you surprised? And yet, instead of blocking him, like she should have way back, she continues to talk to him.
No. Go, you know?
He never went to Canada. He just went from Florida straight to Brazil. Yeah, that time he's having me believe he's in Canada. I think that's insane. Like, we broke up. Why are you still lying to me? Like, why do you keep...
That's not what's insane. You broke up, and you're choosing to be and instead of choosing to be reality ready, you chose to still keep him in your life. That's what's insane. There is no sympathy here that can be given to Cortney, but maybe you see things differently. Let me know.
Keep lying. I don't understand.
Or what I was doing. I mean, she's in Florida doing whatever.
Yeah, but what are you scared to tell him?
I'm not scared. I just didn't tell her.
A social media post on a video like, oh, I saw a colt in Brazil at a mall with a redhead girl. So I'm like, oh, is he...
Why were you even giving him a second of your time?
I felt sorry for him. He was in...
I cannot hear this anymore from this woman's mouth. I felt sorry for him, so I keep talking to him. You know what? Do you know what people don't recognize sometimes? It's actually very selfish to talk to someone because you feel sorry for them. Because it means that your intentions of why you're giving them attention in the first place is based on the fact that you feel sorry for them, not because you like them, not because you care about them, just because you feel sorry for them. And I'm saying this because in life, a lot of people do this, where they give someone attention because they feel sorry for that person, which is actually doing more damage to that person, because when that person finds out that you were only contacting them because you feel sorry for them, it hurts, it cuts deep. And I'm pretty sure you all have felt this before yourself. So Cortney's BS excuses to say that I feel sorry for him is ridiculous. Now, the context of her is different. Her feeling sorry for him is actually different because it's actually more enabling him. Instead of putting him in his place for his behavior, you're sticking around because you feel sorry for him, which therefore you're enabling him to continue doing what he does. It's as simple as that. Colt isn't the type of person that you feel sorry for. Colt is the kind of person that you put in his place. Simple as that. As long as you feel sorry for him, he's going to use it against you. So this is how I feel sorry for him. Just annoy me.
in like such a dark place.
But it's like self-induced. Like doing the same thing Debbie has done all this time. You're enabling him.
Yeah.
You're enabling him not to ever have to grow up and take responsibility.
Now, Anna, she's dealing with the same stuff that I was.
Diana, sorry. Cortney, you gotta stop worrying about this other girl, dude.
Shut.
But she feels sorry for him. Yeah. Ugh. Just drives me up the wall.
To her, like, he's been telling me, I love you. He FaceTimed me for an hour on Christmas. She's like, I was at work on Christmas and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, this guy's a loser. What is the therapist saying? Maybe get a different therapist.
I mean, we still talk as like friends, and every now and then he'll get flirty.
Friends. Why the hell was he your friend? This man has never respected you as a friend, and he didn't respect you as a partner. So why is she using the word friend? Legit moving mad. If I wasn't so low energy right now, oh man. My reaction would be so much more amplified. But hey, day 3 of the fast, and boy, I don't have the energy to even go crazy right now. It's making me feel more even drained, just being annoyed by this woman's actions.
Or like, you know, reminisce about like certain things we've done or...
My question, you were attracted to her body.
I was attracted to Cortney's body and her mind. What do you want me to say?
You don't find her sexy. Because you say sometimes, it's not all the time. You don't find Cortney sexy.
And this is about to be one of the most honest things Colt has ever said.
You don't find Cortney sexy.
Well, I mean, Cortney, no.
Yeah,
No, I guess I don't find her sexy.
No.
You know the amount of times Courtney asked him, the amount of times she asked him, do you find me attractive? And this guy would just beat around the bush, talk the most nonsense ever. And now he's finally admitting the truth, that he has no attraction to her. It's good that he's finally honest with it. But it doesn't change the fact that everything else he did was a perfect reason for Courtney to walk away. But instead of walking away, what did she do? She stuck around. Why? Because we're friends. Anyway, let's move on to the next one because I'm done with this madness.
Getting really annoyed that he wasn't getting all the attention from the strippers and that I was getting the attention. And I was like, well, I've got the money, number one. Conversation with him, I'm like, do you actually think that they're interested in you? And he was seriously like, well, yeah.
Gino would be the type of
I can't stand Natalie. I really cannot stand Natalie. You took this man to a strip club because you wanted to show him a better life, a better time than Jasmine ever had, which is just utterly pathetic. And now you're telling us another reason why this man shouldn't even be in your space. You took him to a strip club, and instead of being grateful that you took him to a strip club, he was upset with the fact that you was getting more attention than he was. And again, she's laughing it off. The same man that she knows likes to speak to multiple women at once. I do apologize, folks. I can hear my stomach rumbling, and it's very loud. And I don't know if it's interfering with this. So I'm going to hold it up here just in case you're hearing it too. I do apologize. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying again? Yes. So really and truly, when it comes to Natalie, what the F is wrong with you? Every time you let's continue with what Kimberly had to say.
man that goes to a strip club every single day, give the girl her money, then when the girl stops with them, he's gonna be like, oh, I'm a victim. Because he's got I love Gino, but he's got victim mentality.
Getting really.
You know what's so beautiful about what Kimberly just said? Has she said everything that she said? She ignored the fact that she was also talking about herself. She has got one of the biggest victim mentalities in 90-day history. So it's nice to see that she's able to recognize when somebody else has it. But the question is, can she ever put that in play regarding herself? That is the killer question. Sorry. Oh, all right. Anyway, let's move on to the next one now.
Knew what she was doing. She said, let's go back to my room, and then got him wet. And then she was like, oh, we got wet clothes. Now we got to go inside. Liz, is it giving manipulation?
So this is a reference to Liz. Now, obviously, when it came to Liz and her telling Vanya, and whatever the guy's name is, she obviously told him the truth about the fact that she had somebody else, which is Alec, the guy that she's now engaged with. Now, of course, she goes back, and Jamal's obviously been explaining that, did she fully manipulate this guy right real quick? Because we saw her go back, and she was like, well, if you want, we can go back to mine and have a few drinks. No, we full well what that was going to lead up to. And we all saw what happened. They ended up having intimacy. And it's crazy because, again, even though she's kind of single, it's weird because she still went back to the guy that she ended up being engaged with after going on this trip and literally going the full mile distance with this dude. Liz's character has really been exposed even more in this season. So the question is, was it manipulation? The question is, the fact that she's still engaged to, the fact that she still ended up getting engaged to Alec anyway, did she also manipulate him? I wonder if she even told him the truth. It's nasty work.
Hate to use the word, but that's kind of textbook.
Like when guys do that to me, you know, when they do wrong, but then they're like, oh, this looks good, and they like touch you a little bit, and then it's like, you forget.
Yeah.
I did kind of feel, I don't want to say it, but like.
I mean, listen, it's exactly what Liz did here. You know, it's crazy because Liz began this whole season that felt like she was on a redemption arc. It felt like she was reality ready. A lot of us were in a position, me, myself included, where we thought, man, Liz is really turning things around right now. To then find out that she was still the same person that we knew her to be this whole time. Selfish. Self-centered. You name it, she's that. With that being said, thank you so much for your lovely time. I do apologize for the rumbling happening in this episode if you was hearing it, because I know my buddy was. But hey, don't worry, the next time you see me upload a video, I would have eaten by then. But with that being said, thank you so much for your time. And please don't forget to hype, subscribe, and like. Peace.